Are your hydrangeas struggling to survive winter, leaving you with disappointing blooms come spring? You're not alone. Many gardeners face this challenge, but what if I told you the secret to thriving, vibrant hydrangeas all season long could be found in your kitchen? Discover an ancient, surprising ingredient that will revolutionize your winter prep and guarantee breathtaking blossoms. Understanding the fermented rice revolution. Fermented rice water isn't some newfangled gardening trend cooked up by social media influencers. This practice has deep roots in Asian agricultural traditions, where farmers have used fermented grain waters for centuries to enrich their soil and strengthen their crops. What makes this method so special for your hydrangeas is the transformation that happens during fermentation. When rice sits in water and begins to ferment, beneficial microorganisms multiply rapidly, breaking down the rice starches and proteins into simpler compounds that plants can absorb immediately. This process creates a living tonic rich in amino acids, B vitamins, enzymes, and beneficial bacteria that work synergistically to fortify your hydrangeas before the harsh winter months arrive. The magic lies in what happens at the microbial level. During fermentation, lactobacillus bacteria and wild yeasts colonize the rice water, producing organic acids, enzymes, and growth-promoting substances. These microorganisms continue their beneficial work even after you apply the solution to your soil, establishing themselves in the rhizosphere around your hydrangea roots. They form symbiotic relationships with your plants, helping break down organic matter, fixing nitrogen from the air, and producing natural antibiotics that protect against pathogenic fungi and bacteria. This living soil ecosystem becomes your hydrangea's best defense against winter stress, creating a buffer zone of biological activity that persists even when temperatures drop. Creating your fermented rice elixir, well, it requires minimal effort and ingredients you likely already have in your pantry. Start with half a cup of uncooked rice. Any variety works, though white rice ferments fastest while brown rice provides more nutrients. Rinse the rice thoroughly under running water, swishing it around with your hands to remove surface starches and any processing residues. This initial rinse water can go straight onto your garden beds as a quick nutrient boost, but it's not what we're after for our fermented preparation. Place your rinsed rice in a clean glass jar and add 2 cups of unchlorinated water. If your tap water contains chlorine, simply let it sit out overnight or use rainwater, which is ideal because it contains no chemical additives and often includes trace minerals beneficial for fermentation. Cover the jar with a breathable cloth secured with a rubber band, allowing air exchange while keeping out contaminants. Place this jar in a warm location out of direct sunlight. Somewhere between 68 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit works perfectly. Now comes the hardest part, waiting. Over the next 5 to 7 days, you'll witness the transformation. Initially, the water remains relatively clear, but within 24 hours, you'll notice it becoming cloudy as the fermentation process kicks into gear. By day 3 or 4, a slightly sweet, tangy aroma develops. This is the smell of beneficial fermentation, not spoilage. The water takes on a milky appearance, and you might see tiny bubbles rising to the surface, evidence of the microorganisms hard at work. Some people notice a thin white film forming on top, which is simply yeast growth and perfectly normal. When the aroma shifts from sweet tangy to more distinctly sour, your fermented rice water has reached its peak potency, typically around day 5 or 6. Timing matters tremendously when using fermented rice water for winter hydrangea preparation. The ideal window falls approximately 3 to 4 weeks before your first expected hard frost. This timing allows the beneficial microorganisms to establish themselves in your soil and for your hydrangeas to absorb and utilize the nutrients before entering dormancy. Applying too early means some benefits dissipate before they're needed, while waiting too late doesn't give your plants adequate time to strengthen their cellular structures against freezing temperatures. Alright, so now it's time to strain your fermented rice water through cheesecloth or a fine mesh sieve, collecting the liquid in a clean container. The rice solids, by the way, can go directly into your compost bin, where they'll continue breaking down and enriching your compost with their remaining nutrients. Next, you'll want to dilute your fermented rice water at a ratio of 1 part ferment to 10 parts water for soil application. This dilution prevents overwhelming your plants, while ensuring the beneficial microbes spread effectively through your soil. For a standard hydrangea, you'll want to apply approximately 2 gallons of this diluted solution, pouring it slowly around the drip line where the outermost branches extend. as this is where the feeder roots concentrate. Apply your fermented rice solution in the early morning or late afternoon when temperatures are moderate and the soil can absorb moisture without excessive evaporation. If the soil is dry, water the area lightly beforehand, since the microorganisms need moisture to travel through the soil profile and reach the root zone effectively. Pour the diluted ferment slowly, allowing it to soak in rather than running off. After application, you can add a light layer of mulch, which helps retain moisture and provides additional organic matter for the beneficial microbes to colonize. So, what happens beneath the surface during winter is nothing short of remarkable. The beneficial microorganisms from your fermented rice water establish colonies throughout your hydrangea's root zone, creating a living blanket of biological activity. Even as soil temperatures drop, these hardy microbes continue their work at reduced rates, slowly releasing nutrients and maintaining soil structure. The organic acids produced during fermentation help your hydrangeas develop stronger cell walls, which is crucial for surviving the freeze-thaw cycles that damage so many plants during winter months. The amino acids and growth hormones present in fermented rice water trigger your hydrangeas to store additional carbohydrates in their roots and woody stems. Think of this as your plant building an emergency energy reserve, kind of like a bear fattening up before hibernation. When spring arrives and temperatures start to rise, your hydrangeas have the immediate resources needed for explosive growth. They don't have to wait for soil microbes to break down organic matter, or for synthetic fertilizers to dissolve. The work was done months earlier, and the energy is just ready and waiting. Gardeners who implement this fermented rice treatment consistently report earlier leaf emergence in spring, sometimes a full week or two ahead of untreated plants. The foliage emerges with deeper green coloration, which indicates higher chlorophyll content and better photosynthetic capacity. Most impressively, bloom production increases dramatically. You'll notice not just more flower clusters, but larger individual blooms with more intense color saturation. The enhanced root development promoted by the beneficial microbes means your hydrangeas can access water and nutrients more efficiently throughout the growing season, translating to sustained vigor rather than just an early season burst. Building long-term soil health is, well, a journey that pays off in spades. The beauty of using fermented rice water extends beyond any single season's results. You see, each application contributes to building a more robust soil microbiome, creating cumulative benefits that compound year after year. The beneficial bacteria and fungi establish permanent colonies in your soil, and while their populations might fluctuate with the seasons and conditions, they never completely disappear once established. This means each subsequent winter preparation becomes easier, as you're reinforcing an existing beneficial community rather than starting from scratch. Now, let's talk about improved soil structure, which honestly cannot be overstated. The improved soil structure that develops from sustained fermented rice applications is remarkable. The microbial activity increases soil aggregation, creating better drainage in heavy soils while improving water retention in sandy soils. The polysaccharides secreted by soil bacteria act as natural glues, binding soil particles into stable aggregates that resist compaction and erosion. Your hydrangeas develop more extensive fibrous root systems in these improved conditions, accessing a larger volume of soil and making them naturally more drought-tolerant and resilient to stress. Disease resistance. Oh, it improves notably with regular fermented rice applications. The beneficial microorganisms outcompete pathogenic fungi and bacteria for resources and space, while also producing natural antibiotics that suppress disease organisms. Hydrangeas treated with fermented rice water show significantly reduced incidence of common problems like powdery mildew, leaf spot, and root rot. This biological disease suppression is far more sustainable than chemical fungicides, as pathogens cannot develop resistance to competition and multiple antagonistic compounds the way they can to single mode of action chemical treatments. So, here we are, on your path to spectacular hydrangeas. Implementing this fermented rice winterization protocol requires minimal investment, but, it delivers maximum returns. You're not just preparing your hydrangeas to survive winter, you're setting them up to thrive beyond anything you've experienced with conventional methods. The beauty of this approach lies in its accessibility. No special equipment, no expensive inputs, no complicated procedures, just simple ingredients, a little patience, and the wisdom of agricultural traditions refined over centuries. Start your fermentation this week, and you'll have your winter prep solution ready when your hydrangeas need it most. Document your results with photos before application, and again next spring when those magnificent blooms emerge. The transformation will amaze you, and you'll wonder why you ever relied on synthetic fertilizers when nature provided such an elegant solution all along. The Living Soil Lab is here to bring you more of these time-tested, science-backed gardening secrets that transform your garden from ordinary to extraordinary. If this guide opened your eyes to new possibilities for your hydrangeas, imagine what else you'll discover. Subscribe to the Living Soil Lab channel so you never miss these valuable insights, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who deserve to experience the joy of truly spectacular hydrangeas. Together, we're building a community of gardeners who understand that the best solutions often come from working with nature, not against it. Your hydrangeas are waiting for this transformation. Are you ready to give it to them?